Another fascinating week for football in the South East region, so plenty to talk about on the GameFace Footy Show this week. Gerry Kelly, President of Cranbourne and the soon-to-be-defunct South East Football Netball League, joins us to talk about their aspirations to be part of the Mornington Peninsula Football Netball League. The club presidents and the NPFNL met recently and released some issues they want AFL South East to address, especially relating to the grand final. We'll talk about that. And it was another great weekend of footy on the field.
His goal from point blank range, he's kicked the goal! The
Frankston YCW suffering another loss. Their coach Wayne Capp and Jie Coghlan, the captain, are on the show. Red Hill continues to firm as a premiership contender in second division, and Pearcedale welcome AFL 300 gamer Drew Petrie into the fold for one game, and they get over the line. Dale Carpenter strolls down memory lane with Tony Blackford, and as usual Chris Holcomb and Blackers are here, and the pressure is again on Blackers to get some positivity about his second division team of the week. Lots to sink our teeth into. Let's go. Yes, welcome to the GameFace Football Show. It is episode number 6. Can you believe that? Time flies when you're having fun, and I'm having a lot of fun with Tony Blackford and also Chris Holcomb. We're live here at the Frankston YCW Football Club. It's a great pleasure to be here. Welcome, gentlemen. And what a big week, to coin a phrase from the great Eddie Maguire. What a big week it's been in local
in
footy.
Football, yeah.
Hey,
in 6 weeks, hasn't it flown, Dan?
It has?
Yeah. 6 weeks.
You sick of me yet?
I'm not sick of you. I'll see you on a Monday, Dan.
When he turns up, mate. When he turns up.
Yeah. No, he was on time and he was very punctual today, and I think that his chauffeur, he doesn't know the area very well, so
it wouldn't matter if I knew the area, I'd still probably get lost.
He gets somebody to drive him.
Now, guys, there's a lot to talk about. We've got Gerry Kelly joining us, and he, of course, is the president of the Cranbourne Football Club.
It's a really hard position that they're in, isn't it?
They still don't know where they're going to be next year. They want to come, as we know, to the Mornington Peninsula Football Netball League. We've spoken about that.
That's their priority,
regularly.
isn't it?
That's their priority. There are 5 clubs from the Cefnal, which has been disbanded, 6 clubs from the Cefnal that'll join the Yarra Valley Mountain District Football League. I spoke to the chairman of the AFL Eastern, which of course overlooks the Yarra Valley Mountain District Football Netball League, and they said they're going to have, it looks like, and they haven't decided how it's going to come about yet. There'll be 3 divisions. There'll be a Premier Division, a First Division and a Second Division. Yep. They've told the Cefnal clubs that they will not be playing against the most northern teams, and they are teams predominantly in Second Division, including Thornton Eildon, Yea, Kinglake, Howtown and Alexandra. They're some of the teams that are miles away for them, but it's a big concern for Cranbourne at the moment because they don't know what's going on. They said that it'll be still a few weeks before they'll know what's going on, and if they miss out on the Mornington Peninsula Football Netball League, and we'll speak more to Gerry Kelly about it, they've then got to apply to AFL Victoria to try and get into the Yarra Valley Mountain District League. And
it's a hard.
That's obviously not their
major focus would choice, be to get into our league and our competition, Chris. But unless there's some homework done for a third-tiered structured competition where they chase up some other numbers, because John Anderson said last week that he's not prepared to chase other clubs.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it is.
He's always wanted a third division.
Yeah. Look, they need to.
So wouldn't he have communicated with the Cefnal clubs last year to get them into this competition?
Well, yes, he would have.
Yeah.
Well, he did, and the presidents shut it down, as we know. They got more than 75% backing, and I'm not sure they're going to get 75% back in Cranbourne. So we'll talk to Gerry Kelly about that very, very shortly. But that's one of the big issues on the program today. And I mean, it is a lot further for Cranbourne to travel to the Yarra Valley Mountain District competition with some of the clubs in First Division like Woori Yallock, Wandon and Healesville and Upway Tacoma than it is to come to the Mornington Peninsula Football Netball League. And for Sorrento to come all the way to Edithvale, Aspendale, the most southern club to the most northern club, it's only 55 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, there's been a lot going on in regard to the presidents. They had a meeting on June 20. They're obviously not happy. Some of the presidents, anyway, not happy with AFL South East. They haven't been for some time. Now, I believe that Chris Sharman, stick fat with the Batty, the president of the Frankston Bombers, has booked
What's he up to?
Carr Street.
Has he?
So the Frankston Dolphins football oval in the VFL, the team that plays
for a function, has he?
Not for a function. He's booked it for a grand final on Saturday.
Well, that's a function.
But AFL of South East have said the grand final will be on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So they're interested in a grand final being on a Saturday.
I get what they're on about, the presidents, because if Nepean Division is played the Saturday the week before, then, to play the Peninsula Division Grand Final on a Saturday, it gives clubs revenue, Chris, on a Saturday night and on a Sunday, rather than hang around until the Sunday.
I totally agree with you. But how about the skew that you're going to have of a team that wins the second semi-final, and you've got a 6-day turnaround if you're in a prelim against someone who's had a week's rest? How's that fair? Well, if you go from a Sunday to play the prelim in Frankston, and then you've got the grand final on a Saturday, that's a 6-day turnaround where the team who wins the second semi has had that too.
And that's happened in the past in the P&, Chris.
It has.
Well, speaking to Kev Lilac, who was part of our commentary team for the match between Bomb Beach and also Frankston YCW, he said that whoever lost that second semi last year in the Peninsula Comp are always going to be up against it, because it was a physically tough game. Both teams were very sore. He said we were lucky to win it. If we had lost it, I still think Bomb Beach would have beaten us. Of course, Edith Aspendale cooked.
It's always
got well beaten.
Always happened. Like, we've had the premierships that we've played through in Mornington, we've won second semis, or been fortunate enough to, and we haven't played that side in the premierships that we've won. We've always had the other guys who are coming through that other side of the prelim.
Now, the other big issue is to do with the points system, and they believe that the points system should be the same, the presidents, in the First Division and Second Division. And Rosebud have even said that they believe that clubs that have a sustained period of success, they should have less points than those teams that have struggled. Yeah,
I don't know about that. And it's very, very hard to police. Like, how can you penalise someone for being successful?
Yeah, I think it still needs to be an even playing field, doesn't it?
It does, but that's what they're trying to get to.
Yeah.
But to take people away from being successful, I think that's a little bit poor.
And as we know too, before we move on, in local footy, clubs are always bidding to try and win the catering or win the bar or look after the gate, etc. But there's an issue with the Frankston VFL team that they still get the bar takings no matter what happens, and they want that resolved as well. I'd say that's good luck at the moment too, getting.
Well, I think if it's down at Car Street, we always say that the bar has always gone to the Frankston Dolphins, hasn't it?
Yeah.
In affiliation.
But it shouldn't when it comes to the grand final of this competition, should it?
No, probably not, Dan. I think that all the catering should be independently, it should go out and we employ people, and there should be a pool at the end.
So you think it should be contracted out?
Well, no, we should employ people to run the canteen, the beer tents and all that, and then pay them a sum of money to run it, and then we get a pool at the end, and then all clubs take a piece of the pie. So then there's a little bit of money.
Sounds pretty good, Tone. I like it.
It's a big topic, and no doubt the presidents will approach John Anderson. I'd love to be a fly on the wall to talk about that. Now, let's have a look at the Bomb Beach YCW match. A quick chat about that. We'll
went down to the wire, didn't it, Dan?
Yeah, it went right down to the wire. It was great being here, or great being there on Saturday. It was a terrific game of footy. Trent Dennis Lane, absolutely sensational. We'll talk to Wayne Capp and Jie Coghlan very shortly from YCW. It was a match they should never have lost. But again, because they've lost that winning feeling, Chris, they didn't know how to close it out, YCW.
It's hard to turn around. And I'll speak to Jie about it in a little bit, but they haven't been in this situation before where they've had numerous out. They've lost 2, 3, 4 in a row. It just hasn't been around. So it'd be interesting to see how they react to this.
Well, some of those 50% win-loss ratio.
Some of those young kids have come into an environment. It's a winning environment. They don't know anything but winning, and here they are. They've got to readjust themselves, Dan.
They sure do.
Yeah, they're just missing those experienced guys.
Yeah.
That's all they're missing.
But their back line continues to be good. It's just the forward line not able to score enough goals, and some of their midfielders are down a bit. And as I say, we'll talk to Wayne Capp and Jie Coghlan very shortly. Wayne Capp and Steve Hughes is delighted with the win, are good mates. Now, this is interesting, talking of Steve Hughes, because there might be some coaching position changes, and I'm next to a couple of coaches right here who've had a lot of success as coaches in the past. Devon Meadows.
Yeah, Glenn's definitely given it away. He's got 6 or 7 games to go.
Been a great coach.
Would you like to go to Devon Meadows, Tone?
Not particularly.
Sorry, Devon Meadows. What about you, Chris?
No, I'll hang my hat up for a little while, mate.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Somerville, Andreas Everett.
Is he giving it away, or he took over from Bevan Malloy last year? So you'd like to think
he'll go again.
You'd like to think that he would, because he's learning the game.
Yeah, he was a co-coach the year before, so I don't know how much credence you can give to that. But look, they want results, Somerville. They don't like being around that middle of the rung.
They're unlucky that they've lost him for the season too.
Yeah, but it's not just him. They lost the Farrelly boys. They lost a few others to go through. So the depth isn't there this year. No. So they want to turn that around quick. And if they don't see it with Andre, then...
Well, Steve Hughes, who we just saw, of course, with Wayne Capp.
How many years would Hughes have been at? 4 years?
Yeah, 4.
Yep.
Yeah, it would have been 4 or 5 years.
Well, he said it was hard for him to do it this year, so I reckon he might look at giving it up. Are they a good club to take over?
Bomb Beach would be a good club.
Yeah, they surprised me. Since they've come up through and joined that division, they've been
thereabouts, haven't they?
And I thought they were really up for it this year, but they haven't had a good run with injuries, and that's been about it.
With most clubs, yeah. Now, Josh Moore's had 4 years at Rye. They're still in the race, and we'll talk about second division shortly, to play in the finals. Had a great win on the weekend. Does he maybe need a change to go somewhere else? I know he's very interested in coaching long term. Yeah. Is 4 years enough for him?
I felt it. I know you're different, Blackers, but I felt it after 4 years. I'd given so much and I was just drained.
4 years is about max.
Yeah, and I think
maybe 5 if you're lucky, but 4 will just about see you out at most clubs.
Your message starts to get similar with same players and it doesn't have the same impact, so it might be time for Maury.
Now, Bo Muston, there was talk he wouldn't have even continued on this year at Frankston Bombers.
I think he... his body was starting to... I think his body was starting to let him get down. Whether he takes a back seat and just coaches and gives away the playing side of it, that might be an option for him.
I wouldn't have given up that job if I was Bo. They're a very good side, good up-and-coming side.
Well, they're in the top 5 at the moment. And Adrian McBean's at Rosebud. Now, we spoke to him last week. Contract hasn't been signed yet.
Hasn't it?
Yep.
No.
But I think that the club are still keen to have him.
It's his second year?
It is. There are rumours that might be some other coaches who've been there before, might be sort of in the reckoning. But I can't confirm or deny that at this stage.
Keeping that under your hat, mate.
Just keeping it under my hat.
Yeah.
But Adrian McBean has only had a couple of years there, and if he doesn't stay at Rosebud, would another club pick him up?
I don't know.
Would he was coach
of the year last year, and he's had a lot of injuries, but they've got some cracking kids at Rosebud. They just need to get some support with those young kids, and they'll be okay.
Who would be the incoming coaches other than you two? And you've said not next year, and Tone, I still reckon you've got one more in you. You were going to be coaching Sereno this year, and of course that didn't work out.
It might be more of a roundabout than a come-in sort of situation, I think. I think guys generally have got that bug, and if it doesn't work out at a certain place, they'll pick up another one straight through. So that coaching roundabout starts just about that end of August time.
And what about Seaford and Crib Point? I mean, there are two clubs that are struggling. Crib Point at the bottom, got John's coaching him, Murphy coaching Seaford.
He's only been there for 1 year, John.
So I think he'll go again.
Murphy just re-signed for 3 years.
Did he?
At the end of the last year or the beginning of this year. They love him down there at Seaford.
So he's got another 2 years to go. So he'll be around.
Do you think they'll be better if they go to second division?
They will. Murph's is one of the best coaches in the comp by a long way. So he just needs to get some cattle, and they need to get their recruiting right. They didn't get their recruiting right this year. Once they do, he'll have them.
Why didn't they?
I think they just didn't work out. It's hard recruiting, as well as anyone. It's the worst job in the world.
People will say, I'd love to sit down and have a chat. So a lot of people aren't even interested in coming to you, but they want to sit down and listen, and they want you to tell them that they're worth this much money. So then, Dan, they walk out the door, and then they get on the phone and say, can I have a chat with you as well?
Yeah. Should be
tough gig. Tough.
It is.
Anyway, we'll take a break. We'll talk more about that over the next few weeks. Back with Blackers and also Chris to talk about what was a terrific round of footy. The top 8 played each other, the bottom 4 played each other in Division 2 on the weekend. And Blackers will have his team of the week, and again, he has been absolutely monster.
I think it was very good last week.
I disagree. Back shortly. You First Real Estate. Call 5925 9278 or visit youfirstrealestate.com.au.
Websites, videos, Google marketing, SEO. What do you need for your business? Call the team at Chill. They really know their stuff.
Looking at the second division goal kicking tables, and in the seniors, the heavy hitters, those leading the table, again had great weekends for their respective clubs. Jesse Murphy booted 3 for Langwarren as the Kangaroos have now won 3 games in a row to be in finals contention. Curtis Bywater of Chelsea 4 to move to 43 despite their loss on the weekend. Michael Theodoriadis, a lone hand for Devon Meadows as they went down to Pearsdale, another 5-goal haul. He's on 38. In the reserve, Scott Sterling of Rye didn't kick any, remains on 32. Richard Mathers of Coringal, they're all low-scoring matches in the reserves. He kicked one to go to 28. And Andrew Silver of Chelsea remains 10 goals behind him on 18. In the under-19s, you can safely say that Logan Sanford will win the goal kicking. He's 13 ahead of the rest of the field. He's had a couple of massive weeks. On the weekend, he kicked 9 for the Hillman to move to 44. Shannon Reid of Langwarrin goalless. He's 31. Jie Coghlan has played some senior football for Coringal. He kicked 3. He's on 26. And Ryan McNamara of Coringal remains on 25. The GameFace Best Player Award for Division 2 in the seniors, Terry Wheeler of Dramana has a 1-point lead after getting 1 point and his team's win. Yet another win for the Tigers on top of the table. He's on 35. Travis Bravo of Pearsdale in the Drew Petrie match as Pearsdale got the points over Devon Meadows. 4 points, he's 34. Samuel Gertz of Dramana, 6 points to be on 33. Brendan Doyle of Tired remains on 33. Didn't get a point on the weekend even though his team won. Tyrone Head finding form again for Rye, their best win of the season. 4 points, he's on 32. In the reserves, having a look at the best players in that competition. Scott Sterling of Rye on 39, no points on the weekend. Dane Layden Kozakas of Dramana, 6 points behind him on 33, also no points. 2 points for James Longley of Langwarrin to go to 31. Cody Weir of Hastings, no points, he's on 28. Matt Mitchell joins him on 28 after picking up 6 points. In the under-19s, it remains one-way traffic for Tristan Giuliano of Chelsea. Constantly gets points every week. 4 points on the weekend. He's on 59. 14 ahead of the rest of the field. Will Hose of Tyab on 45. A 4-point game on the weekend. Nathan McLean of Devon Meadows picked up 5. He's on 44. Lockie Cox of Tyab is on 41. And Caleb Watkins of Hastings, 4 points on the weekend to move to 36. And Liam Douglas Pitt of Chelsea, 6 points. He's on 35. Also on 35 after a 6-point game, Connor Vincent of Somerville. In second division, upsets were certainly on the cards with the top 8 playing each other. And there was certainly one major upset when an injury hit Hastings travelled to Rye to play the Demons, who are treating every match like an elimination final in their quest to play in the finals. And Rye showed they meant business straight away, blowing the Blues away in the opening term with an 8-goal-1 first quarter. Langwarrin continued their good form and have now strung 3 consecutive wins together to move within 2 points of the top 5. And most importantly, they beat a top 5 team in Coringal, who'd only tasted defeat twice before the weekend. The match of the round was the informed 4th, Red Hill hosting 3rd place Chelsea. And again, the Hillmen got the job done as they continue to be a major threat for the second division premiership. Top team Dramana again started slowly, but after trailing at quarter time proved too good for Somerville, especially in the last quarter, as they put the foot on the pedal with a 6-goal blitz to win by 53 points. Pearsdale had the services of former North Melbourne and West Coast Eagle Drew Petrie, who played over 300 games in a stellar AFL career. It was an important revenue raiser for the Panthers as they managed to hang on against the other Panthers, Devon Meadows, by 8 points. Petrie, who is one of footy's nice guys, also kicked a goal in the win. In the other game, the bottom 2 sides, Crib Point and Tyab, took on each other, with the Yabbies horribly inaccurate in the first half, and they were down by 1 point at half-time against Crib Point, but they tidied that part of the game up in the second half to win by 17 points for their 3rd win of the season. Welcome back to the GameFace Footy Show, and we're at the Frankston YCW Football Club rooms. Wonderful to be here. Dan Lonigan with our panellists here every week. They're not sick of me yet. Tony Blackford and also Chris Holcomb. And before we look at Division 2, now, Blackers, this is one of the highlights of the show. Yeah, we went down memory lane and you caught up with Dale, Possum, Carpenter. How was that? Yeah, it was terrific to catch up with Possum. And look, I actually see Dale quite a bit. I played footy against Dale. I was still playing at Sorrento when his son, Gary, started playing football. And now I've inherited his grandson, little Zach, who's an avid fisherman. And I've been taking him fishing, so how's that for a story? Yeah. Does Possum like fishing? Not really.
He loves fishing. Yeah,
he does.
He loves, and old Possum, Zach's given him the bum steer to come out fishing with me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
So anyway, it was great to catch up with Possum. He played in 13 grand finals, Possum.
Did he? 13?
He was involved in 13 grand finals and he won 5 of them.
Well, here's an example of what Blackers and Possum spoke about.
Hi and welcome to GameFace down memory lane, and today we've got Dale Possum Carpenter.
Good to see you, Blackie.
Yeah, good to see you. So in your playing and coaching career, you played in 13 or involved in 13 grand finals?
Yeah.
And you were able to win 5 out of those?
Won 5, lost 8.
So next year will be a 40-year reunion for you?
40-year reunion down at Bomb Beach. And it's a long story, Blackers, but in 1982, I was lucky enough to win the league.
You won the league medal?
For Chelsea.
Yes.
But I also played in the premiership of Bomb Beach that year.
In 82?
In 82. Don't look so confused, Blackie, because a lot of people still don't know how it occurred, and it's too long a story to tell you now, but I actually...
Won the league medal?
Won the league medal with Chelsea.
But you won a premiership with Bomb Beach?
I played 2 games for Bomb Beach. Grand final, we were 40 points down, then we worked our way back on top, and we got 15 points up just in the last quarter. And then Robbie Jackson got the ball on the wing, and I was the only one within 50 metres, and I had to chase him. And as soon as he looked over his shoulder and seen it was me, he laughed.
He laughed,
He had 4 bounces and kicked a goal.
Did you still play in 99?
No, look, hang on, I've got to think, Blackie.
Mate, so it's been wonderful to catch up with you.
Good to talk to you, Blackers, and hopefully, we can look forward to the snapper season, I suppose.
Thanks, mate. Terrific.
And you can hear that entire interview and that entire chat at Possum's house, of course, in Langwarrin, was where Blackers caught up with him. It was talking about all the great times in footy for Dale Possum Carpenter on the GameFace app. So there's a big opportunity for you to hear that entire interview, and wonderful that we got hold of Dale Possum Carpenter. Well, let's look at Division 2. Huge weekend a few weeks ago. Proves, guys, that we couldn't tip our hats. We thought the final 5 was done and dusted. It's now as open as a book. There are 7 teams in the running. You'd have to say Dramana are safe. Chelsea, even though they got beaten in the weekend, are safe. Coringal are safe. Red Hill are absolutely coming, and probably just about the biggest threat to Dramana.
They're the form team of the competition, aren't they?
But Langwarrin, I mean, they're going well. They beat Coringal on the weekend, and they needed a big scalp. And ever since, Chris, you said, they've been the great underachievers. They have found a way, haven't they?
They were, and now they're starting to show the form that they should have been showing from the start. So hopefully, for Joshy's sake...
We felt that they'd get the job done, Chris, on the weekend. And we just felt that the outside run... Coringal have got a few injuries at the moment, and their outside run isn't great. And Langwarrin got off to a great start, and they controlled that game.
They did. Jesse Murphy having a wonderful year, two bags of 6, and then a bag of 3 to go to 49. And
their co-coach Blake McCormack was really good for them last week. Patterson did a really good job on Burke. Matty Norton, the big ruckman, he didn't play the first half of the year. His last 3 games, Dan, have been outstanding. And the other one is Gerard Brown. He's a good player too, Dan. You'd be impressed with him.
Can they get in the 5?
Well, I think that they've got momentum, and the problem is Hastings are stumbling.
And there's a lot of injuries, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
They fought back well. I mean, they were blown away by Rye in the first quarter. Rye kicked 8 goals to 1. There was obviously a scoring end down at Rye.
It was pretty windy last week.
Yeah, it was. And they hung on. Their last quarters have been poor, Rye. And Hastings was storming home, but when you're 39 points down, they didn't score a goal in the third quarter into the breeze. It was always going to be hard work. They kicked 4-5 to 1 goal. So it was an important win for Rye. They needed a big win. We were down there last Thursday, and speaking to Mick O'Rourke, their president, he said,
he's a good fella.
He's a great man. I've met Mick a couple of times.
Have you?
They just had to find a way to beat a good side, and they managed to do that. So that really helped them.
We had poor old Joshy on here for 4 weeks in a row.
Yes.
He couldn't win a game.
That's right. And now he's out and about.
He's out and about.
As our roving reporter.
Yeah.
And they've started to...
He's come good again.
Get a couple of wins together. So
they're going to claim that as well, are we?
I am, yeah.
They're a game out and about 8%. There's still a chance, but I still reckon, Chris, they'll rue those 4 losses in a row, don't you?
Oh, especially that one to Devon at Devon.
And Red Hill beat Chelsea. I mean, we know how good Red Hill are going at the moment. It's probably not a huge surprise.
Oh, it's no surprise.
Because of the fact they are the informed team in the comp, even though Dramana keep winning.
And playing at home. And they've got Langwarrin at home this week, and the long-range forecast, Dan, is not great. Strong winds and rain
That'll probably suit Langwarrin as
I think it will.
Red Hill.
Yeah.
So
if Langwarrin lose that and Hastings win, it makes it a bit harder, doesn't it?
But they all play each other on the way home.
They do.
So it's not over yet, Dan. I think that there's...
Can Red Hill finish top 3?
Oh, of course they can. Yeah, and I think that they... at the start of the year, that's what they'd be trying to pencil in, because them and the Hastings were the dominant two sides in the competition last year, Dan.
Now, Jack O'Shea, 150 games.
Isn't that a great milestone?
Yeah, it is. When you play 150 games of footy at any level, you've been a great servant, haven't you?
100%, yeah.
So, congratulations to him. And some top goals from the weekend. Well, we know that Murphy kicked 3, Bywater, a lone hand 4, and
Chris
Theo
Irving.
Doriatis kicked 5 for Devon Meadows. Who just went down to Pearsdale, who had Drew Petrie line up for them, which was fantastic for them.
It was a wonderful day down there at Pearsdale, and Drew Petrie was outstanding. He's
one of the best blokes you'd ever want to meet in football.
He spoke at the luncheon for about 45 minutes. His mum and dad turned up. He stayed after the game until 9 o'clock.
Did he really?
Signing autographs and getting a lot of...
Clinic the next day?
Maybe. He had a clinic or Auskick in the morning of the game. He presented himself really well. I know he only kicked 1 goal, Dan, but he set up 3 or 4. He had opportunities to take a mark in the goal square but let the ball go through. So he was in really good form. His form was really good on the weekend. And Pearsdale got the job done. The crowd wasn't huge. It wasn't like the Barry Hall day, but the weather.
Would they be a bit disappointed with that?
Well, the weather wasn't great. You know, when you're looking at late June, early July, you take a punt on the weather.
You do, but I mean, a bit of a revenue raiser for them. So
would have been.
That was important.
Would have been a couple of thousand people there, Dan.
Now, talking of Blake McCormack, he is the co-coach of Langwarrin, taken off on a stretcher and did not continue late in the game. So we know what concussions do in football at the moment. Whether he has a rest this week, they'll probably need him against Red Hill, as we mentioned, such a big game for them. But if he's not right, it'll make life a bit tougher for them, Chris, won't it?
Yeah, that's automatic almost if he has been knocked out. So that'll be a big loss for them. But like I said, Langwarrin have got some depth. They've got some really good players. And Norton, he's a game changer if he's back in form.
Because 2 years ago or 3 years ago, he was the interleague ruckman. And unfortunately, he was injured early in the season. Gerard Brown didn't play much early in the season. So team of the week, Dan?
Let's look at team of the week. There's been some criticism, not as much as last week, Tone. I think you're starting to find your range.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to slowly finding my feet.
You are?
A few changes this week, another 6 changes, 6 ins, 6 outs. Jonas Iverson into the back pocket. Adam Kirkwood comes in on the weekend. He kicked 4 goals, but he played through the midfield and the forward line, rested forward. I just haven't got room for him in the forward line, so he comes
like Matthew Pavlich when he was an All-Australian as a fullback.
He can play anywhere. Patterson was in really good form last week. Clark from Chelsea has still been playing good football. Rogash from Hastings.
Without him, they'd get beaten by a lot more.
That's right. Tyrone Head comes back into the side after some good form. Wheeler from Dramana stays out on that wing. Gardner was still in good form last week against Red Hill. From Chelsea, Jocka Mitchell from Red Hill. Sam Fowler comes in on the half-forward flank, replaces Hewitt. Sam Fowler kicked 5 goals last week.
He did.
Gerard Brown from Langwarrin and Ethan Johnson from Dramana. Chris Irving kicked 4. Murphy kicked 3 and Bywater kicked 4.
It's a pretty good forward.
A lot of goal kickers in there, mate.
Yeah. So I didn't have room for Theodoros this week, and I'll tell you why in a minute.
He's unlucky, isn't he?
He's very unlucky.
5, well, you wouldn't even have him on the bench.
Well, the only reason, and I'll tell you in a minute. So, Theodoros, you have to just stay 1 more week. Win Pope's been in
5 goals.
Well, I'll tell you the reason why.
You're going to be criticised heavily this week. Remember, get on Facebook if you want to criticise.
Win Pope from Red Hill has been in great form. McGuinness and Summy. And Marcus Delago, the captain from Red Hill, has put 2 or 3 games together, so he comes into the midfield. Matt Norton comes into the ruck position. Now, I've put Drew Petrie into the... He played 1 game and he played a good game. He played a good game.
Better than Theodoritis, who kicked 5?
Well,
I would say not.
Some say that Petrie was the difference between Pearsdale winning the game and
I don't think there's any doubt about that. But
that's right. So he's the match winner there, and the reason I picked him is that Drew Petrie's in. Quigley from Dramana, McGuinness from Coringal, Burke from Coringal, and Fletcher from Devon come back into the side.
Did you get some feedback this week, I reckon, mate?
You certainly will.
Mate, for Drew Petrie to make the... I know that he'd been rewarded financially, but he was outstanding.
How much do you think?
Oh, you'd know, so you can't say.
No, I don't know.
You don't know. All right, well, let's take a break, and we might talk more about that a bit later, and we'll come back, and again, it'll be wonderful to chat, even though it's been a tough few weeks for them. The YCW coach always gives us so much of his time, Wayne Capp, and the captain, Jie Coghlan, after their narrow loss to Bond Beach in Division 1 on the weekend.
Hey guys, Brad Sykes here from Psych for Sport. So we've been in the Frankston and Mornington Peninsula region for the last 4 years, starting out as a player at the Frankston Dolphins with my good mate Sammy Fox, and started to get involved with the kids of our region just to try to, effectively get them psyched for sport. And yeah, from there it's grown, and we've worked within school programs and also school holidays. So our aim is to teach kids life skills through sport. Just letting you know about our school holiday program coming up in the July holidays. Looking forward to that with some AFL women and some VFL footballers taking you through the skills of the game. Georgia Walker, the Saints captain, Bridie Kennedy from Carlton, Trent Dennis Lane, obviously a wonderful player for Sydney and St Kilda. People around the area that, like myself, who love the region and developing our youngsters. So open to 5 to 14 year olds, and it's definitely cheaper than childcare. Get them along. Go Psych for Sport.
6 weeks ago, Frankston YCW were flying. 6 wins from 6 matches. Since then, they haven't had a win. They did pick up 2 points for a no result against Seaford, but 5 losses, including one on the weekend in a tough contest against Bond Beach. It's always hard to come in and speak to the media after a loss, but Wayne Capp's a professional, Jie Coghlan's a professional, even though last week I reckon he might want to hit me after we were part of the lookalike segment, and they reckon that he looks like me, and Jie, I apologise for that because I've got a very good head for radio, and you're a much more attractive man than I am. But Wayne and Jie, thanks for joining us. Wayne, it's been a tough 5 or 6 weeks. I've got a feeling, though, that defeat hurt more than all of them.
Yeah, it did. We did pretty well for most of the game and held them off. But that last quarter, we defended very well. We were kicking into the breeze and managed to wrestle the lead back with a couple of minutes to go. And then not to be able to shut it down and allow TDL to get that goal with the last kick of the day really hurt. It's something that we're going to learn from. We'll talk about it tomorrow night during the review. And what you've got to do from these situations is make sure you learn from them. And we'll definitely do that for sure.
Cappy, that's a game that you would have penciled in to get back on track. Last week wasn't ideal with what happened with the game getting called off, so that was one. And now Bomb Beach that aren't travelling well, that would have been a game that you just kick yourself.
You're spot on.
Yeah,
it's been really hard to swallow. Particularly because we had it in our grasp. But you're right, I was, really keen for this match. I think we matched them well with the team we had. We had no excuses, and they, to Bomb Beach's credit, they play well and they deserve their victory.
Jie, the defence was great. I mean, you were playing down there a lot of the day and you held them out for a long, long time. What happened in the last couple of minutes? Do you think you just lost your structure a little bit?
No, the defensive structure kind of was there. It was
the pressure from the midfield.
The midfield and the out forwards just being too far back. But I think we got it out 3 or 4 times in that last 5 minutes, and it just went straight down their throat, and that they just bombed it back in. And obviously repeat entries.
So there's still a lot of experience in that back line, isn't there, Jie?
Yeah.
With yourself, Onga and Byron down there, and then you've got younger guys in that. You've still got Kyle in the midfield, but then you've got younger guys like LaFontaine and Lovett out on those wings. So they are still, and even though they've had premiership success, they're still finding their way, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. You've got to remember, these guys are still kids.
Yeah.
They're still 20, 21-year-olds. Still got a lot to learn. And obviously getting senior games, that's how they're going to get it.
Yeah.
So.
From the leadership side of things for you personally, because you've been in such a successful era with YC, how's it different now that because you haven't been in a situation like this before where you've had 5 or 6 on the trot that haven't gone well. How hard is it for you to draw on sort of experiences to try and turn the group around?
It is difficult. I still try and send the same message, no matter who we have on the park. Obviously, they get a senior game because they're good enough. But yeah, it does get a bit hard when things don't go well and they make easy mistakes.
But the message that you're selling is the same message that's been there for a long time, that has been very successful. So you don't want to go away from that. It's just that obviously the personnel changes, and with that personnel, obviously leadership and quality of it too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you've lost a lot of quality.
No, you're spot on, mate.
Yeah.
Spot on, mate.
Lost a lot of quality.
Wayne, do you feel you can turn it around?
Yeah, I'm still confident. We've got a tough ask this week. We play the Bombers at Bombers.
Would you have a few blokes unavailable through Vic country?
Yeah. Probably have 3 not playing, which isn't ideal. But it's just another challenge that we've got to
come up with.
Come up to, and I'm confident that we can get it and get things.
It's going to be trying conditions on the weekend.
Yeah.
The long range forecast isn't great. Gale force and wet conditions down.
It always is on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Well,
Shocking down there too.
I mean, every other day's okay, and then you come to Saturday and it just makes it tough.
But no, look, I'm really confident that we can get back on track. After the bye, we start to get the majority of those guys back.
Yep.
So there'll be no excuses. And, we're excited to have them all back. And, they are excited to get back. They've all, working their hearts, they're working their bums off.
Yeah, to get fit
back
again.
as early as possible and ready to go when it's their turn to go.
And that's one thing that you've got to pride yourself on. Your professionalism as a club is second to none.
Yeah, we do set a high standard on rehab and training and all that kind of stuff. So it's in place, and then the younger guys learn off that as well.
Now, I know you guys won't want to see this, but this is the closing stages of the match between YCW and Bonbeach, and at the time, YCW was still in front.
By 3 points. They've been behind most of the day. They hit the lead for a couple of minutes. The kick will come back though. High kick comes in towards full forward and standing, and there's a mark in the goal square. There's a mark in the goal square to Bonbeach. It's an outstanding mark by Trent Dennis Lane. He's been moved forward and he used his body. It fell right into his lap. The big kick came in, and that was from Douglas, who's been pretty solid in defence. He just drove it long, and one-on-one for Trent Dennis Lane on a reasonably acute angle, left forward pocket. This probably to win the game for Bonbeach.
PJ Credley wouldn't
27 minutes gone.
PJ Credley wouldn't be happy with that. Just absolutely outmuscled by Dennis Lane.
The match winner's gone forward to kick this goal from point blank range. He's kicked the goal. The Sharks are back in front. 9-7, 61 to 8-10, 58. It's been 4 goals to 1. One last chance. Just got to get it out of the middle. Got a couple of loose men back in defence. Bonbeach. Tapped down by Crane. Shoved forward is Simon! Bonbeach have won! Another loss to YCW. Bonbeach have won. They've scored in the last 45 seconds and they've got up. A big win, and the YCW players slump in despair.
Pretty hard to take that, Cappy, isn't it?
Yeah, mate. Well, that's what I was mentioning earlier. We've got to learn from that, and we'll have a closer look at it tomorrow night and run through what's going to happen if we're ever in that position again.
What was going through your mind when Dennis Lane kicked that second goal, Wayne? Did you feel time was nearly up, or did you still think you had one more chance?
I had a bit of an idea that, we were well into the last minute. We got a Lockie Wallace charge through the middle for that stoppage and managed to get a free kick, but there just wasn't enough time.
No.
Once he kicked it, I pretty much knew that was it. And that horrible feeling in your guts when something like that happens.
Looking forward to Bombers this week, mate.
Yep.
I've seen a lot of them lately, and they are fine at the moment.
Yeah.
They ran you guys to three-quarter time out here last time, but they've added O'Carroll through the midfield now. They've Foxy and Sutton are in career best form, even though I don't think Foxy will play. I think he'll be big country. Who are you looking for at Frankston Bombers to sort of curtail?
Harnett played for him too last week. Whether he goes back to Frankston Dolphins, I'm not too sure, but he's been injured, and then he was available last week.
Alex, he's a pretty good player. He's an ex-YC boy, actually.
Yeah.
Alex, I presume, would go straight back into the Dolphins side, as will Lockie Williams, who played with us on the weekend. But when we played them last, Fox and Sutton were great that day, and they used those guys through the middle of the
It was a pretty windy day as well, wasn't it?
It wasn't bad conditions. It was a sunny day, and it was a really good game of footy, actually. And I think we were level at three-quarter time or a couple of minutes down or something, and we managed to come over the top. But they use those guys through the middle of the ground, and we've got to pay them respect and don't give them a space, because you give them a metre, and their defence love to hit them up, and they're good ball users.
Jie, do you think some of your players are lacking a bit of confidence at the moment? That's why maybe their form's not as good as it could be?
Yeah, probably. After losing 5 or 6 in a row, you kind of got to look at that. It's probably up to the senior guys to get around younger guys and just pep them up a bit at training, get them going, and obviously, hopefully on Saturday we can get the win and kick-start it again.
And it's not only the senior blokes that are in unfamiliar territory, it's the younger guys that have been brought into the senior group and just been driven with success, haven't they?
Yeah, spot on, Blackie. You'd probably, anyone that's been in our club for the last 3 or 4 years wouldn't have even had a thought of losing 6 in a row or even 3 in a row. And now that they find themselves in this hole, it's up to everyone as a group to pick us up.
Yeah, and the old scenario is everyone loves to beat the winners, don't they? And that's the thing. But you guys have just got to believe in yourself and get back on track. That's what it will be.
You've been the hunted for a long time, haven't you?
Yeah.
And you've coped with that mantle pretty well.
Well, you embrace that.
You have to.
That was how it's been for a very long time, and now the shoe's on the other foot, and we've got to adjust, and we will.
Biggest challenge of your coaching career, one?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. It was a good start, and up until 6 weeks ago, things
were rosy.
Round one was looking all right.
Yeah. But I think I've mentioned to you before, it is what it is. You've got to embrace the challenge, and I believe it's making me a better coach. I'm learning from it. I've been well supported by all the players. The training and the meetings and the input from the guys has been as good as ever. Because we're all want the same thing eventually. So I've been really pleased with how everyone's reacted to it right around the club. And, there's that confidence that we'll turn it around.
What about, Cappy, how from the side that you fielded against Sorrento round 1, how close will you get back to that side?
Well, we won't get Eames, obviously.
No.
There's 4 from that team who we won't get back.
4?
Yeah. But we've got 8 to come back in.
Yeah. Because Kev is...
Lilac's one of those who... Yeah. Kev, he's like round 16 or 17.
Okay.
So when he comes back out, probably we'll hopefully still in the fight. I imagine we will be. And, he'll help us immensely. He's a good leader. And formed part of that really strong back six.
Oh God, Jie and Ongar and Byron.
But that's not the issue, is it? I mean, the defence has been great. You've been keeping teams to pretty low scores. You just haven't been scoring enough.
No, that's correct. Well, last season, I don't know if you look back to last year. We had Josh Butland, who's another guy, out as our main forward, and he was an 18-year-old. We lost Anthony Brunn to Footscray. And
is there any chance of getting him back?
He's done his ACL.
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
Sure.
So
McLeod out too doesn't help.
McLeod's out too. Yeah. So last year we were only kicking similar scores, but my theory on it is that we make sure that our back six are as strong as possible, and that our midfield is as strong as possible, and then we work on our forward line structures as best we can from there.
Jie, touch wood for you haven't had the injuries, but can you remember, knowing me, I've just put the moz on you, but can you remember the number of injuries that the football club's had this year in your time? I mean, and they haven't just been short-term injuries, they've been long-termers, haven't they?
Yeah, no, I've never seen this anywhere before at any footy club, really. We've had one week we've had 13, 14 of your best 22 out. And I don't know if any football club could be able to survive or even be competitive having those guys out. So no, it's just been real unlucky.
Especially with the division change this year, and every game is just so close. Like you would have noticed it from last year. You might cruise it a couple of weeks there, and you might be able to rest up some people, or maybe not go as hard. But this year, you cannot stop.
No, that's right. And that makes the division footy so good.
Yeah.
And Chris, it'd be like us losing our leader, you know, we'd be rudderless, wouldn't we?
Oh, you'd be fine without me. You know how to talk, you two, but I appreciate your kind words. Look, we'll take a break. We'll come back with more shortly. We've got our new segment, which Jie, you and I were involved in last week. I still reckon you're a much better looking man than me. It's called Lookalikes. That's next on the GameFace Footy Show. St Andrew's Brewery, using the finest ingredients, ensuring each beer is full of flavour and character. Hewison Private Wealth, giving you expert financial advice. This is the GameFace Footy Show, and our special guests from the Frankston YCW Football Club, their coach Wayne Capp, their captain Jie Coghlan. Gentlemen, can we ask you about Luke Painter? We know he suffered that bad injury which forced the game against Seaford to be cancelled just over a week ago. Believe it's not a dislocated hip, Wayne, which is good news.
Yeah, it is. He's still got quite a serious injury. It's called an avulsion, which is a muscle's pulled away from his pelvis and taken a little bit of bone with it as well. So that's got to be reattached.
What sort of time frame, Cappy?
8 to 10 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, so it depends on how he heals from his operation and all that sort of stuff. But I was just talking to him earlier today, and he's off the major painkillers, which he's been on since last Saturday week.
Yep.
And he's still in a fair bit of pain, but it's slowly that's subsiding. And he's seeing the surgeon on Thursday to decide their plan of attack with surgery or non-surgery or however they want to fix it. But he just
started an apprenticeship, hadn't he?
Yeah, he just started his apprenticeship. He started about 18 months ago, and then got injured. Broke his wrist.
He's had a lot of injuries, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's had them all pretty quickly, and so he's been off work for a long time, and then he just...
Being a chippy, you need your hands.
Yeah, he just got back to work, had this new job, and then this happened last Saturday week, and so he's out of action again. But, he's had some great support from everyone here and all his teammates and stuff, so that's been great.
As the head of the playing group, Jie, how did all you guys feel about that when you saw him lying there and he just couldn't be moved?
We were shattered for him. It's his first game back, as we said before, since the grand final. Just came off a wrist, done all the pre-season, all the running. Obviously a Frankston pre-season isn't easy. Comes in, quarter and a half in, and down he goes. And
I was talking to Murph from Seaford, and he reckons it happened right in front of him. And he just said he was just running along, and he changed direction. And
that's it.
Yeah,
as simple as that. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Innocuous, isn't it? Some of those injuries.
A player would do that 10, 11 times a game.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And there's so many footballers playing on the peninsula and all through Victoria or Australia, and that would happen every day, more often than not, multiple times. And he's a one-off, isn't he?
You do a knee like that too, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. You see them go down and on their own or whatever.
Now, John Coburn is a legend of this football club. The oval's named after him.
See the big sign as you drive in?
Yeah,
Dan?
exactly.
Did you drive in today, or did you get chauffeured in?
No.
You're not very good at finding
I got chauffeured in, but I'm learning to find my way. Thank you very much, Tony. Yes, I can't read a GPS or a map, but we'll get there eventually. If I can remember it off by heart, I'm always okay. Now, getting back to John, that's a better topic than talking about my lack of direction. Thanks, Tone. Has he contacted you?
Yes. He's been away he's going around Australia with his wife, dragged away from the football, which is probably...
He hate?
Yeah, he hates missing a game of football, but he's been in constant contact with me, and not long, about an hour ago, I spoke to him actually, and when he gets phone reception and wanting to know what's going on and what I'm going to do about it, and how are all the boys going, but he's a great man for this club, and it really everything revolves around John.
Oh, it's a great honour to drive down and to see that sign, and
that's right,
for all the time and effort and hard work that he's put in.
Yeah, he's involved in everything, and he shelves off a lot of responsibility, but you know, if there's ever a big question or about anything, it's let's run it past John first, you know. But he's a terrific man, and we're, you know, the club's so lucky to have a guy like that.
Now, you've got a function coming up this weekend, haven't you? So that's why it's important you have a victory.
Yes, it is. We've got a brilliant function coming up. We're celebrating 3 coaches who have coached 10 premierships between them. The 3 guys, Scott Mathers, Bugsy Barry and Josh Kendall, are all giants of our footy club, and they are getting honoured with a lot of past players and current players and families coming together at the RSL on Saturday night.
Gee, that'll be a wonderful
big function. It's going to be a great
function.
night, and I can't wait, to be honest. And these guys put a lot in and are very successful, obviously, and we'll be celebrating their coaching careers at YCW. So if anybody, any past players or current players are still watching, please contact Neil Redaway or Andy Snyder.
Snides.
Yeah, Snides. He's the MC. So, you know, and get your tickets and come along to what will be a great night for our club.
And before we let you go, guys, the lookalikes, which is our new segment, as I mentioned, Jie featured with me last week. I think it was very unfair on him, but the first one's Jackson Casey and Conor McGregor. Now, Jackson Casey is one of these guys that doesn't miss too many games of footy.
What a big game,
isn't he?
What a big game that he missed on the weekend, though. Unfortunately, that he's played 150 plus games, Dan, and he missed the big one against Ross. Yeah.
I saw him walk in. It's 180 games.
Is it?
Yeah. I saw him walk in, and he didn't have his gear, and I thought, I don't think he's playing. And he looked like he was really
disappointed.
Really angry. Like really.
He thought he was going to get up, because I saw him on the Sunday after, and he did his ankle, and I think it was early, and he played through the game.
Yeah.
If he had probably gone off, he might have got up to the game. But no good.
Yeah, he's a soldier for sure.
He's a durable as they come. I remember Jared Crouch at Sydney played 194 in a row, and his body just wasn't right.
Yeah.
And Roosey said you need to have a rest, and he hardly played again. Sometimes you can play through injury. Yeah, I hope Jackson, it doesn't happen to Jackson, but Conor McGregor, the 3 like
very
Conor
much.
McGregor. He used to be married, of course, to Madonna. Is that right? Was he married to Madonna?
You just made that up. I reckon you made that up.
Yeah, I think.
I thought he. Oh no, he wasn't. I'm thinking of a director. Sorry, Conor McGregor, of course, is the.
You're thinking of Guy Ritchie.
Yeah.
Guy Ritchie, I'm thinking of. He does look a bit like Conor McGregor. He could be in the lookalikes next week. Now, Sean Gregory from
Sean Foster,
I should say, from Hastings, and Cameron White. Cameron's hair's a bit blonder, boys, isn't it? Just a bit.
Oh yeah,
that's a younger.
Fozzie's got a lot of.
Now there's a ripper.
What about Joshy Moore there?
Yeah. Ryan Eaggold's got a bit more hair from the blacklist. Yeah, absolutely. James Hallahan and Armie Hammer, who was in The Social Network. He's been in a lot of other movies as well. That's
I haven't heard of him, mate.
Yeah, I have. Gary Moorcroft and Mitch Bosward. Yeah, I think so.
Little red nut.
Very good. Little red nut. He took that screamer, didn't he?
Yeah. Have a look at this one. Kerry
right, yeah, absolutely. I know Sculver. He was one of the great men, Sculver. Well, the funniest men I've ever met. Yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah, I'll go with that. Now, looking at what's happened in regard to the First Division. We'll get there in just a second, but can we thank Wayne and also thank Jie for being here, guys.
Good luck, lads.
It's been a tough 5 or 6 weeks, still plenty of footy to go. You're still in the top 5, you're good enough to come back, and we hope you're there come September, and we thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us on.
It's a pleasure.
Okay.
Jie Coghlan, the captain of Frankston YCW, and Wayne Capp, the coach. We'll talk more Division 1 football very shortly on the GameFace Footy Show. Low Farms, the Australian grower and supplier of rocket, lettuce, spinach and salad mixes. Wilson Parking, safe and secure parking. Looking at the goal kicking, firstly for the First Division seniors in Aaron Edwards, just 1 goal for Pines on the weekend to move to 35. 1 goal to Leepa Holke of Sorrento, he's on 29. Trent Dennis Lane outstanding for Bond Beach. He's kicked 2 goals, he's on 27. And Jared Grant didn't score a goal for Frankston Bombers in their solid win. He remains on 23. In the First Division reserves, Chaplin of Frankston YCW, 3 goals to move to 29. A virtually unassailable lead now in this competition. In the under-19 goal-kicking competition, Sam Hart of Edithvale Aspendale increases his lead to 4 with 2 goals. He's on 29. Sam Sturt is playing for Mount Eliza Seniors, so he remains on 25. Josh O'Toole of Frankston YCW booted 3, he's 19. Tom Wisniewski of Mornington's been on 18 for a while, and he stays there and certainly out of contention, you'd think, at the moment.
Checking out the GameFace Best Players Award, and Sean Downey of Rosebud having an outstanding season. His team were beaten on the weekend, but he picked up 6 points. He's on 46, 10 points ahead of the rest of the field. Joel Miller of Mornington, also 6 points. He's on 36. Greg Bentley injured at the moment from Rosebud on 33. He's been joined on 33 by the veteran from Pine, Paul Scanlon. He secured 6 points despite his team going down on the weekend. Dale Sutton of Frankston Bombers is on 32 after a 6-point game. In the reserves, Jacob Beggs of Pine, 6 points on 39, 3 ahead of Jared Douglas of Bond Beach, who got 5 points on the weekend to move to 36. Ed Ellis of Rosebud, 5 points to go to 35. And our boy from GameFace, nicknamed the Fuzz, Reese DeGoo, he's going brilliantly at the moment, 6 points to move to 32. He's starting to dominate the competition for the Frankston Bombers, and his teammate Ben Sharman hasn't scored points for a few weeks. He remains on 31, along with Luke Black of Frankston YCW. Division 1 Under-19s, the Best Player Award has Nick Sakalis of Rosebud leading on 34, just one in front now. Ben Ward of Edithvale Aspendale, 6 points on the weekend, he's on 33. Mitchell Sharrar of Rosebud is on 30. Lyndon Brakar of Seaford is on 30 after 1 point, and Oliver Walsh of Mornington, 6 points to go to 29. His teammate Ryan Rose is also on 29, no points on the weekend, and Jason Carter of Bond Beach on 28 in a pretty tight competition. In the first division of the MPFNL, Frankston YCW continued to struggle, suffering their 5th loss in their past 6 games, with Trent Dennis Lane best on ground, kicking the last 2 goals for Bond Beach to give them a valuable 4 points, having also been out of form in recent weeks. Mornington took it right up to Edithvale Aspendale, and for long periods of this match, an upset was more than just a possibility. The Dogs led by 20 points at quarter time, but the longer the match went, the Eagles worked their way into it and eventually won another tight contest by 11 points. Sorrento continued to cruise towards the minor premiership by proving too good for neighbour Rosebud. Frankston Bombers entered the top 5 after a solid display against Salad Dweller Seaford. The Tigers were in front by 4 points in a low-scoring opening quarter, but the Bombers put the game to bed with a dominant second quarter performance, piling on 7 goals to 1. And Pines dropped out of the top 5 after again falling short against the top team, despite leading Mount Eliza for much of the day. Last week, bad kicking cost them the 4 points against Edithvale Aspendale, and although the Pythons led at each change, their kicking for goal was again wayward. It got worse in the last term, as they could only manage 1 goal 5, while the Redlegs, who were overrun by Sorrento last week, ensured history didn't repeat itself this week by kicking 5 goals to win by 18 points. Welcome back to the GameFace Footy Show. Time to look a little bit more closely at Division 1. We've been having a good look at Bond Beach and YCW. Thanks again to Wayne Capp and Jie Coghlan, even though it was a tough week for YCW. Do you guys think they can still win the flag?
They do, but a lot of things have to go right for them. They'll be thereabouts for the finals. The next 2 weeks is crucial for them because they'll get a few back after the bye. And then anything can happen in the final series, but they need everything to go right for them. I was talking to Chris Nongarello today. He said like every week from here on's almost a final, which they're not used to. No. They're used to cruising in, resting some players.
But they play those big games well, don't they?
They do.
Now, we need to introduce a couple of people that you know very well, Chris. Your daughters,
my daughter Ella.
Charlie and Ella. Charlie's 10 on the outside, Ella next to her dad. Hello, girls.
Hi.
Who do you follow on the footy, girls?
Hawthorn.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because Dada barracks for it.
He also was drafted to the Hawks in the late 1990s.
A bit before their time, mate.
A little bit before their time.
Yeah.
Nathan Thompson, Richie Vandenberg.
Same years, yeah.
That era, yeah. Late 90s.
Yeah.
Just after Craig Jock Treleaven, one of my favourite players.
Yeah, he was there as well.
Brendan Crummell and Daniel Chick.
Yeah, there was a good crew there at that stage, mate.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we'll get to the team of the week in just a second, but obviously Pines not hanging on against Mount Eliza, disappointing for them. I still reckon they're going to look back and lament those narrow losses. As Paddy Swain said to us after their 1 point defeat at the hands of Edithvale Aspendale, where they were clearly the better side. Again, they were inaccurate against Mount Eliza, but a great last quarter by the Redlegs, who looked gone at 3/4 time, so they'd be very happy about that.
Yeah, look, Mount Eliza, I went and seen them play Sereno, and it was only from Sereno's pure class that got them over the line.
Brilliance.
But their kids are going really, really well. The impressive thing about their win over Pines as well was that Moncrief, Freeman, Capp only kicked 1 goal between them. So they're sharing around their goals as well. We look at the Pines and they're relying on a couple to kick big bags. these guys are getting it done on the spread.
Do you feel that the Mount Eliza's bottom end, the bottom 3 or 4 players, was probably better than
That's
Pines?
the issue with Pines, isn't it? I mean,
just
their
their
top 6
depth
or 7 are among the best in the
Oh,
comp,
God, yeah.
and it falls away a bit, doesn't it?
That's been their issue for a few years now, and it's hard to arrest. It's hard to get that depth through, but definitely Mount Eliza's kids are probably a bit more advanced.
And they had a couple of boys back from Stingrays in the VFL, didn't they?
Yeah, that's always handy.
Yeah.
And I thought that Mornington were very good against Edithvale Aspendale for a long time.
They were.
We thought a major upset was on the cards, but again, and they're just finding a way to win. Their percentage is not great as we keep labouring because of what happened in round 1.
Yeah.
But the Eagles are getting the job done, but unimpressively.
Yeah, there's nothing impressive about what they're doing at the moment. There's another level that they can get to.
You sure they can?
Oh, 100%. Dorr was back on the weekend. He was very underdone. Batten was back on the weekend. He was a little bit underdone as well.
It was a big day for Mornington. It was their 98 seniors and reserves grand final reunion, was that right?
Yes, it was.
So it was a huge day for their club, and so many past greats were there, and obviously that spurs the young guys on, doesn't it?
The guys at Mornington at the moment are getting themselves in games by just pure will. They're not able to finish off games because they lack that really top-end polish.
They're playing for the coach too, aren't they?
Yeah, they
because
are.
He's a legend of the football club.
They are, and you can see it, but they're losing those games in the last quarter because they just don't have that polish around. So, yeah, that's where they're at the moment.
And that was the difference between Sereno and Mount Eliza 2 weeks ago, that you talk about that polish with Tapscott, the 2 Hellahans and Polkey up forward. That was enough to change that game.
And Sorrento and Rosebud went as expected, and Frankston Bombers and Seaford as expected.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, Frankston Bombers are the team to watch at the moment. They're playing some great footy. O'Carroll into that midfield has changed him, giving him more depth through.
He is one of the most talented kids going around.
And
he'd be 30 odd now.
He'll be 30 odd now, but he's missed a lot of footy over the last 3 or 4 years.
A 30-year-old kid. Just called him the kid. I think, how old is he? And he said he's 30 odd now. Thanks very much for that. You really put me in the mess. Now, Chris, we need your team of the week. Again, it's been a good week for you. They all think you're fantastic.
Oh, no, I had a couple through in the week.
Did you?
There was a couple of players that thought they should have been in the side after they...
I reckon Glenn.
Well, all they're doing is patting me on the back, saying how good you are.
Oh, well, there's a coach ring me up during the week and he gave me a spray because he wasn't happy with his... But I was vindicated.
Yeah,
Glenn got a couple of phone calls.
All those ones that I got through were a bit sloppy on the weekend. So
Glenn got a couple of phone calls. Our boss,
Right.
Yeah.
So I might have to clean it up a little bit this week, but I've changed it up a little bit.
Can you name the coach?
No, look, I told Swaney I wouldn't.
No.
I said I'd leave him alone. All right. So,
Paddy, one of our favourites.
So we'll go from the back line. We've got Sebi Kremic from Rosebud, Howlett from Seaford, Mannix from Edithvale back in. Marston, Warwick Miller back in at centre-half back, Brett O'Hanlon at Edithvale.
So Miller's back from injury, obviously?
Yeah, he is, and he gives Dorr a touch-up on the weekend.
Yeah.
But he was a bit underdone, so...
Dorr?
Dorr was underdone.
You wonder why they wouldn't have just... Because he hasn't played for probably 6 weeks or something, would he?
Yeah, well, they had Hullett playing in the twos as well, so they've got to that point now where they're either got to play Dorr or Hullett due to the points.
Their problem is that they just lack a bit of height in defence, and that was shown against Pines.
Yeah, it was. So they might get them back through. I'll go through the centre line. Huswaite again from Rosebud was fantastic on the weekend. Joel Miller, James Hallahan, half forward Street, Bussy best on ground again from Edithvale.
Playing very well, isn't he?
Very good footy. Tapscott on the other half forward flank. Forward Sutton, Edwards, Fox, Rux, Terrich, Monaghan was back to his best on the weekend. Downey was best on ground again for Rosebud.
Could he win the medal?
Downey could quite easily, depending on the umpires and how they look at it. I know he's loved down there at Rosebud, so he probably gets it bumped up a bit more than what he normally is, but he's having a great year and no one's taken votes off him except for Bentley. So we'll have a look at that. Hutcho...
How far away is Bentley, do you reckon?
Look, it could be anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks. He's hoping to get back, but if it gets too close, he won't come back.
Okay.
He'll just leave it and let it heal for next year, I'd say. Rux, Terrich, Monaghan, Downey, as I said. Interchange, a few big names on the interchange bench.
Yeah.
Hutchison, Moncrief, Mitch Hallahan, Paul Scanlon, Byron Barry and Jason Kingsbury of Frankston.
Gee, an excellent bench, isn't it?
Well, you're going to have to
players
work.
Can come on there.
You're going to have to work hard now to get in this side. So it's not.
So
just
Onga got left out this week.
Onga was out this week.
Yeah.
First time he's missed
out. He's
Lockie Street missed out too.
No, Lockie Street's on a half forward flank.
Oh right, Lockie.
So,
he's been pretty good. He played forward. I mean, they're as we mentioned earlier, just a lack of forward options.
Yeah.
But he's a good young player.
He's a good kid and he's a backman, so they're just pinching with him through there. But that's a side. There we go, mate.
And you're very comfortable with that.
I'm very comfortable with that.
Yeah, I am too. Again, any criticism
I hope Paddy Swain
or any
is happy with
positive
that.
comments for Chris, I'm sure Paddy will be happy with that. If not, he'll be giving us a call or he'll be getting on the GameFace Facebook and making comments. Back with more on the GameFace Footy Show. We'll have our tips for next week. Some big matches coming up. And don't forget, of course, GameFace calling the footy on Sunday. And it is the local derby between Mount Eliza and Mornington. Can't wait for that. It'll be an absolute ripper. Back with more shortly. Well, the big issue in the Mornington Peninsula Football Netball League at the moment is, will Cranbourne come in from the SEFNL? As we know, SEFNL has been disbanded. 6 of those clubs have already said they'll go to the Yarra Valley Mountain District Football Netball League. Touradon at this stage very keen on going to the West Gippsland League. It's a great pleasure to welcome the president of the Cranbourne Football Club who want to come into the Mornington Peninsula Football Netball League, Gerry Kelly. Gerry, really appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
Are you feeling confident that you'll be part of the MPFNL next year?
I'm quietly confident, although it's going to be a difficult thing to get 75% to agree.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard ask for you.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
No doubt.
How many presidents have you spoken to personally?
All of them, just about, yes. The ones I can get hold of. I've certainly tried hard to get hold of all of them.
And have you had a good response from them?
Very good response from a lot of them, yes.
Well, from a lot of them, but not all of them.
No, not all of them, no.
But when you say you haven't had a good response from all of them, was it hostile? Or
no, never hostile. No, they were happy to talk to me, but no, they just don't see it as a correct fit at the moment. I struggle to understand their reasons, but that's what they feel. They wanted to settle down, and they wanted. And then I suppose Sorrento was negative about the travel, and Bernie was claiming it takes 2.5 hours to get to Cranbourne.
Mate,
2.5 hours.
It's no different.
Well, that's what he said
That's
on
what he said,
GameFace, didn't he?
It's no different than going out to Devon Meadows.
That's right.
No different. And sorry.
He talked about it coming from Melbourne to Lawn. He said going from Melbourne to Lawn is similar to going from Sorrento to Cranbourne. I don't know how often Bernie's been from Melbourne to Lawn, probably a few times.
He's updated his Melbourne.
Yeah, but Lindsay Fox would organise the chopper for him.
Yeah, I'm sure he would have. Yeah, well, it is ridiculous, isn't it? Because it probably is a better fit for you guys, and I would have thought a better fit for a lot of the SEFNL clubs to come into the Mornington Peninsula Football Netball League. Now, I'm new to this league. When you look at it logistically compared to the Yarra Valley Mountain District League, is it not?
Well, it is, and all the other SEFNL clubs would have preferred to come over here, but that's gone now. That's over.
Yeah, that won't happen, Dan.
No.
But I get that Cranbourne's a good fit for our competition. I get that. But I don't, at short term, if you were to come in next year, that would mean 23 clubs. Right, so then there's going to be a competition because Peninsula Division works beautifully, doesn't it, Chris? Right, yeah. 10 sides is spot on. They play each other twice. To get 13 sides into Nepean, I don't think it's going to work. So the best case scenario is to really push hard to get some lesser sides into this competition, and that means that we're starting with 23. So there's 3 sides for the third tiered structured competition. I had a phone call last week, Dan, from Chelsea Heights. They would be super keen to come into a third tiered structured competition. So that means that that's 4 clubs, right? So then if you do your hard work and chase the South Morningtons, the Carrum Patterson Lakes, the Frankston Dolphins, Sky Football Club, South Mornington, it all adds up.
Whose responsibility is that?
But that's not your role, Gerry. I mean, you can
no, certainly needs to be done.
But when we spoke to John Anderson, John Anderson said it wasn't his responsibility either.
What is?
That's what he said. He said it was up to a club to approach them and come in.
Yeah.
It wasn't up to them to go and chase clubs because other leagues had looked down on that.
Well, it was interesting. Somebody needs to be on the front foot and doing all that, Dan, because it's going to help a club like Cranbourne.
Well, it's up to Chelsea Heights then to contact AFL South East And if they can get the ball rolling, go from there.
That's what I've told them.
If no one's going to do the work, I'll do the work. I'll do the work. Someone needs to do it, I'll do it.
Because, Gerry, I've talked about this for 5 or 6 years, and I think that it's going to help clubs.
Because, Gerry, if you can't get into the Mornington Peninsula Football Netball League, when do you need to know by? And you then have to, I believe, speaking to Tony Mitchell from AFL Eastern, the chairman today, that what has to happen is you then have to apply through AFL Victoria to try and enter the next closest league, which obviously is the Yarra Valley Mountain District League. Now, they've said today, Tony Mitchell has told me, and I can say this, that they obviously won't leave you out in the cold, but you can't automatically go straight in. You've got to go through AFL Victoria, so it's a long process for you, isn't it?
So it's going to be a difficult year for my club because we don't know where we're going to be next year.
Gerry,
MPNFL is certainly the first option, the best option for us, and we think we'd fit in beautifully into the First Division. We'd go into Second Division if we had to, but we're a perfect fit for First Division, and we've got great respect for the clubs that are in First Division, and it's a competition that we want to be part of.
What do you like most about the Mornington Peninsula Football Netball League?
Oh, the club rooms like what we're sitting in.
No, that's one part of it.
I love the competitiveness of the Division 1 team, Division 1 competition you've got going at the moment, and I look at the percentages and how close the games are, and you never know who's going to win each week when you arrive at a ground, and that just does not happen in my league, Sefnal League.
Gerry, unfortunately the Sefnal has really nosedived a lot. You know, there's 3 or 4 good quality sides, and you know, you've lost Hampton Park, you've lost Keysborough over the last few years. Dingley, Devon Meadows.
We've lost 4 clubs over the last few years because there's powerful clubs and there's no divisional football, and that's why divisional football is so good.
Well, it is.
In Sefnal, we've just been crying out for divisional football because we've got these powerful clubs and then we've got the lesser clubs, and those lesser clubs just get smacked each week.
Gerry, I've always thought from Sorrento up to Edithvale, we've got a corridor, right? I've always thought that from Doveton, Narre Warren and down to Garfield, Warrigal and all that, that you guys should have a 2-tiered structured competition from there down and include Garfield, Narnagoon and all that and do it that way.
Well, I think Warrigal, as far as I know, and Druin have been very keen to join the South East Football Netball League because they know it's a long way to travel as part of the Gippsland Football League, and they've been struggling for a long time. I mean, what is it from Warrigal to Bairnsdale? It'd be 2.5 hours, would it, Gerry? Something like that?
Well, it's 3 hours from here to Bairnsdale.
Yeah, it's too far, too far.
Has that ever been brought up?
There's people down in Gippsland talking about it now.
But what about the Sefnal as a competition? Is that something that, rather than go to the Yarra Valley, isn't that a better suit for your competition?
But they all, at the start of this year, months ago anyway, they said they won't talk to us because it's all locked in for the present time, and they'll do their review in coming years.
When did you know the Sefnal was doomed?
End of last year?
Yes. Well, we're down to 8 clubs now, and certainly we know there's probably 2 clubs that want to get out now because they're not competitive.
So in hindsight, it was the wrong decision to set up a league. I know you probably weren't wanted as much as you would have liked in the old Mornington Peninsula Football League as the Casey Cardinia division, but in hindsight, it was probably the wrong decision to set up Sefnal, wasn't it?
Well, you could say that, but the problem was the administration at the MPNFL at the time. The people were at loggerheads with them, and I think the MPNFL made the same decision a year later. And voted no confidence in the same people. It was all the same reason. But I suppose you could say we would have been better off staying with the MPNFL, and then would have easily been the 3 divisions then.
But obviously,
playing against MPNFL teams.
But obviously, things were not going in the direction that everyone wanted. Do you think at times, Gerry, that there are local football clubs that have got their own interests at heart a bit too much, and they've got to look at the bigger picture?
Sure, I see that all the time, yes.
What can be done to change that?
Well, proper administration.
I find it hard to believe that the league hasn't been more proactive in trying to save clubs like Cranbourne and help them out. I mean, it's obviously where they want to go and where they're going to play their best football and thrive through there. I find it hard to believe that it's just on their responsibility to do all this work and they don't share some responsibility in that.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. I mean, AFL South East, John Anderson was at pains when I spoke to him in December last year about another matter, that they wanted 3 divisions and they wanted the South East clubs in. And now he said, well, we're happy to have a 3rd division, but we're not going to approach the clubs ourselves.
That's what I can't understand. I think if you want a 3rd, you've got to go out there and sell your product, really.
So, Gerry, what happens? You've just got to keep working hard at this, keep trying to approach all the clubs you can, and obviously you've got to make a decision. Do you know exactly when a decision needs to be made? Because obviously by the end of this football season and the way you're going, you might be lucky enough to win another premiership. You'd want to know where you are next year, wouldn't you, by the end of this season?
Certainly.
When's crunch time?
Well, I can't actually apply to join the NPNFL until the 1st of August.
Why is that?
That's just the rules.
Oh, that's only 4 weeks away.
Yeah.
That's only 4 weeks, Dan.
But, you know, I would prefer if the NPNFL presidents met for that and voted on it, you know. I think everyone knows the issues, and it needs to be, you know, the more it's talked about, the better. But
do they have a monthly president's meeting? Do they? Or
well, they had a meeting on June 20th.
Yeah.
So, and most of the presidents were there, and there were a lot of issues they spoke about, especially about the grand final. So I would think that this has to be an issue they need to look at the next president's meeting. I wouldn't mind being a fly on the wall with that, because I don't think it might almost be split down the middle. I mean, I think there are more clubs that are in favour of it now than they were, certainly of having Cranbourne in, Gerry, the impression I'm getting, than they were last year of having the Sefnal clubs come in. Is that your understanding?
Well, I think as a single identity, it's going to be easier for you to come into our competition than it is the whole...
Yes, well, Cranbourne's just on the edge of the Morning Peninsula.
Well, it's Devon Meadows.
Yeah, Devon Meadows would be...
You know, from Langwarrin to Cranbourne, it's 10 minutes.
Probably less, yes.
Oh, a lot of traffic these days.
To get here from my house, you know, it's all close. It's all on the same road.
No wonder you want to come into the First Division.
Peninsular League.
How competitive do you think you can be?
Oh, very competitive, I think.
I think we're around about the ballpark, yeah. Only one way to find out, isn't it?
They've got great facilities out there at Casey Fields.
I've heard that. Casey Fields, fantastic facilities.
Great juniors.
Yeah. We can play games under lights too on Oval 1 down at Casey Fields.
Well, Gerry, we wish you all the best. It's obviously a bit of a battle. We hope that it all works out for you. I mean, we'd love to have you in the Mornington Peninsula Football Netball League, and well, you'll obviously be playing football somewhere next year, and we hope it's in this competition in some structure, but there's obviously still a fair bit of water to go under the bridge. We thank you for your time, and good luck for the rest of the year. And your footy team's flying at the moment. Bit of a disappointing performance on the weekend against Berwick, who are a very good defensive side, but you're still right in the mix. Just before we let you go, do you feel you're a big chance of winning the flag?
Oh, we're
You're in the mix, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right. We're in the mix, but...
Hey, Cranbourne might be able to just field an under-19 side in 3rd Division, you know, like South Mornington might.
Oh, I think they want to do a bit more than that, don't they, Flackers? Good on you, stirring the pot. Thank you, Gerry. We'll chat again soon. It's a big time for the Cranbourne Football Club, and we thank their president, Gerry Kelly, for joining us as they try and find out where they're going to be playing football next year, whether it be the Yarra Valley Mountain District Football League or the Mornington Peninsula Football Netball League. Back in a sec on the Game Show footy, on the GameFace Footy Show with Josh Moore. He's out and about, and he'll have his under-19 team of the week. Pencon Garden Supplies and Mini Mix Concrete is a family-owned business that has served the Mornington Peninsula magnificently for more than 50 years. For all your garden and building supplies, concrete, soil, sand and mulch, visit Bart and the team at 58 Peninsula Avenue Rye, or call 5985 2252 or 5985 2998.
Yeah, thanks guys, and welcome to the Under-19 segment this week. This week it is from the Milbury Cafe in Rosebud, and we're lucky enough to be joined by a couple of the Rosebud stars and the Under-19 coach from Rosebud, Matt Baker. So welcome to Matt, and we've also got Josh Harris, who is an up-and-coming star of the competition, playing seniors at Rosebud, but he's an under-19 kid. So welcome guys, thanks for coming down, and we look forward to having a chat to you tonight. So I guess the first couple of questions would be for you, Matt, being the under-19 coach. been a pretty tough gig for you as your first year as a coach this year, mate. I know it has been. But what's some of the things that you've learned over the journey so far as a coach?
Yeah, thanks, Josh. Look, it has been a tough year. We've struggled with numbers, struggled with players at times. It's been a pretty big learning experience. We've always had lots of numbers at Rosebud. We've always had plenty of guys that can play good footy. This year, it's been a push to try to get guys on the track, but more so, it's been pretty awesome to see the endeavour and the work rate of some of the guys that are still playing with us and still working pretty hard to make it on the track every week and get a team out there.
Now, you've got quite a few kids up at the Stingrays, and you've got a couple of under-19 kids that have made senior debuts in the seniors this year. Can you tell us a little bit about the challenges of dealing with Stingrays players coming back with you guys, and also promoting under-19 kids into the seniors? How do you go about that?
Yeah, look, it's been a challenge for our team, but it's so good. Like I've always said from the get-go, we want our players playing at the highest that they can. It's great. We've got 6 under-19 players playing in the Stingrays. We've got Josh next to me playing every game in the seniors, and we've got young Aaron Colombo playing his first few games in the seniors as well. And it's just been great to watch. Not only that, we've got a lot of our guys either backing up, doing double games, or when we haven't got a game from our buys against Sorrento, we'll have 3 or 4 going through the development squad as well. So, look, it's great opportunities for these guys to get in there and have a crack and learn a lot. But at the same time, the challenges come. We've got low numbers because of it. But like I said right at the start, it's such a good place for us to be as a club and as a whole, for our competition to have these young guys coming through.
Now, Joshy, you're an under-19 kid, but you're playing in the seniors at the moment, doing a really good job, and obviously played in the interleague team this year as well. And from that, you've been selected in the under-19 Victorian country team. So well done on making it that far, mate. That game's on Sunday at Ballarat. Tell us a little bit about your expectations of the game on Sunday and how excited are you?
Yeah, just to be picked was a huge achievement for me. I know I like to play at the highest level of football I can when I can. So coming through Interleague and doing well in that, and then again getting chosen to play with some of the best kids in the state, it's just an awesome feeling. And yeah, I'm wrapped.
Now you've played on some pretty decent players this year in the seniors, and credit to your coach Adrian McBean in throwing you into the deep end onto some big players. Can you tell us about some of the players that you've played on this year and how you went against them?
Yeah, I think my first big matchup come when we first played Bomb Beach against Trent Dennis Lane. I didn't play on him from the get-go, but I think he ended up kicking 3 in the first quarter, and then Adrian got me to play on him for the rest of the game, and I held him to I think another 4 throughout the rest of the game. And then ever since that, I've been pretty much getting the matchup on each key forward. I know I played on Aaron Edwards against Pines a couple of weeks later, and that was just awesome. Like, I thrive off playing on key players like that, and it's just a massive learning curve as well to be able to play on players of such a high calibre. And Polky last week, I know everyone that I've played with at Rosebud has said he's an awesome player, and credit to him, he is. And unfortunately, kept him goalless until the last 5 seconds of the game last week, and he got a sneaky handball and slotted it through, and as it went over, the siren went. So that was pretty awesome feeling just to keep him to the 1 goal. But yeah, it's been awesome to play on such good players throughout the league. I
know Polks does watch the show, so well done on stitching him up on the weekend, and that was really good effort. Now, with the senior team that you're playing in, being a young kid, have any of the senior players taken you under their wing and looked after you this year?
Yeah, look, I think everyone has pretty much. I know from the first training session I was there, everyone made me feel so comfortable, through the president in Lockie and the coach Adrian and our defensive coach Rick. Everyone at the club has just made me feel so welcome, and as a first year player, it's such an awesome feeling when you go to a new club and everyone there is just so welcoming and awesome. I think Sean Downey from the first training session, he really helped me out and got me introduced to all the new blokes and all that. And then through the back line, I know Seb, Crummich and who else? I think there was Brenton Davidge. all of them boys have just been giving me advice each week on what I can do to improve and help out the team even further. And yeah.
Is there any teams that you play against, and any players that have sort of stood out in the under-19 competition so far?
Yeah, Josh. Look, it's hard to individualise a couple of key players, but team-wise, we played Bomb Beach pretty early on in the year, and we just got knocked off by them, and we came and played them a couple of weeks ago, and they were a team that I was just so impressed with on how well they had developed as a team, and it was really good to watch. Really good to watch from a perspective of how well their team was gelling. Another one which was a great effort, and we've as a club we've really appreciated this, is when the time was a bit tough there with a few low numbers, we had a couple of young guys from Frankston YCW come across and play with us, and they actually ended up being some of our best players. They just worked so hard, even though they were playing against their own team. So as a team and as a whole, that club was awesome to see there. And look, we've seen some really good pockets of play from other teams. But yeah, those two teams have been pretty impressive to watch in the last few weeks.
So obviously we've got 5 or 6 games left in the season so far. What are your goals and expectations from your under-19 group for the rest of the season?
Look, our one goal, we'd love to get another win. We had one win. I'd love to get another one for them. It seems like such a little ask, but it's a big task when you've only got probably 12 or 13 dedicated seriously under-19s that are eligible to play with us, that are not including the Stingrays and the guys that are playing seniors. And the other one is, as an expectation, we would like to see a couple of those other guys, get up and potentially get close to playing senior footy. If not, we just expect them to improve the whole time. We've got a pretty good core group of guys in our team that really drive each other along, and there's an expectation that we'll continue to do that throughout the end of the year.
I just want to wish you the best of luck for the rest of the year, Matty. Doing a great job down there. I know that firsthand. And Joshy, on Sunday, really, really the best of luck, mate. I'll obviously be there to watch you and support you and help you as much as I can. But I know you'll get the job done, and all the best for your game against the VAFA on Sunday. Okay, so the under-19 team of the week for Division 1 is coming up, so really do appreciate your feedback, guys, and I love the feedback that I'm getting from the Mount Eliza Football Club, so please keep sending it in. Please keep commenting on Facebook, because it is much appreciated. So Matty Baker, while I've got you here, mate, Rosebud have had 2 players consistently in the team of the week. Joshy Harris sitting next to you has been in every week, and young Aaron Colombo, who pushed his way into the senior team, has made my team of the week. Am I missing any other kids that haven't been in so far?
Yeah, thanks, Josh. Look, mate, I reckon young Nick Sakalis and Josh Ritchie, both pretty stiff not to make it in yet. Both are guns in their own right. Nick, just a great leader, always determined, pretty hard worker. And Josh, just an awesome kid, rucking and just seems to get around the ground really well. So I suspect these guys might be in there shortly.
Beautiful. Okay, so my team for this week, starting from the back line, is Vine. At full back, we've got a young gun in Josh Harris sitting next to me. Just had to shuck that one in. And Aaron Ingram from Bond Beach is in the back pocket. The half back line is Smith, Cody Hines from YCW, and Caleb Douglas also from YC on the back flank. The centre line is Cox, Ward, and Wishart gets his first crack in the team on the wing from Frankston Bombers. Hart, Sisovic and Jacobson is the half forward line. The full forward line is Bailey Breen, another kid that's playing Vic Country on the weekend. Newton from the Bombers, and Barry is in the pocket. In the rucks, we've got another debutant, Ollie Walsh, who's been playing some good footy in the ruck from Mornington. Tom Small, ruck roving. And roving is Josh Berenga, who's been racking up disposals for YCW in the under-19s. On the long bench, we've got Goonan, Bashir, House, a couple of kids that make their debuts as well. Antony from Mount Eliza, Macquarie, Edias, Barron, Edias, and Grant Humphrey from Pines, who's been knocking on the door for a while. So there's the team of the week. Look forward to your feedback, guys.
Thanks to Millbury Cafe for their time here tonight. Look, get down here, get yourself a cup of coffee, something to eat, They do great food here any time during the week, on the weekends. I'm sure they'll much appreciate it, and they do so much for us. Anyway, back to you, Dan, in the studio.
This is the GameFace Footy Show, and next week is going to be a big night for our footy show because we'll be recording it in front of a live audience from the Bay Hotel, which is a new sponsor.
Karaoke bar.
Aspendale Football Club. It's in Mordialloc, the Bay Hotel. And among our guests, the coach Graham Yates, the former Melbourne star, played 182 games and part of Melbourne's 1988 grand final team, and also, of course, has very extensive coaching experience. And the Ox, one of our favourites, Peter Ox O'Connor, the president, will join us as well. So that is from 7 o'clock next week. Looking forward to that. We're also looking forward to another big round of footy because there's a lot happening on GameFace. On Saturday, we'll be doing our pre-match show. We did our first one last week, and thanks to the Bomb Beach Footy Club and also YCW for looking after us. And we'll be at Chelsea on Saturday for that. Because we'll be having Barry Michael in there as a guest speaker at a luncheon. It's the sponsors' luncheon for the Chelsea Football Club, so we look forward to that. And then on Sunday, we've got the big game. We can't wait, Mount Eliza and Mornington. And Chris Holcomb will be joining me in special comments, and no doubt will be helping me out and holding my hand as I continue to learn these players, which are driving me mad, but I'm enjoying it. Let's start with second division first. Coringal have lost 2 of their past 3. They need a bit of an easy kill, don't they? They should beat Pearcedale.
I think they should beat Pearcedale back at home. And look, Coringal are a side that have got a few injuries. Grant Goodall's been out for the last few weeks, and he's one guy that really sets them up, really controls them from the start. So I'm not too sure whether he'll be back or not, but I think Coringal easy.
Coringal, mate. Yeah, me too. Chelsea hosting Rye. Rye must win this.
Yeah.
Chelsea be disappointed they lost on the weekend. Of course, a big day for the club, as we mentioned. Sponsors luncheon, they'll be wanting to be performing well and ensure they stay in the top 3.
It gives them a bit of a reality check too, Chris. Yeah. You know, like they've done everything right so far. You know, going up to Red Hill, not many clubs win up at Red Hill. So those conditions, they'll be back at home. Big day for their club. I think that they'll get the job done against Rye.
Now, Dramana have had a pretty good run, haven't they? They've had an easy run. They'd be liking a hard game leading into the final soon. You can only play who you come up against, of course. They've got Devon Meadows. Their first quarters have been poor in recent weeks, so they want to try and clean that up. But you'd expect them to win at home.
Definitely at home. Yep, they'll be too quick on
that. Yeah, Dramana at home.
Red Hill and Langwarrin, we mentioned earlier, probably the match of the round. Should be a ripper.
Yeah, it should be. And it's another game that Langwarrin need to challenge themselves. I think Red Hill's form has been outstanding. They've overrun sides. Their second halves have been outstanding as well. I think there's a lot to like about Red Hill at the moment. I think Langwarrin will really push them, but I don't expect them to beat Red Hill up at Red Hill.
No, neither do I.
I think Red Hill at home in wine country will be a little bit too good. Somerville, and they're at home to Crib Point. You think Somerville will return to the winners list?
Yeah,
it's slightly disappointing, haven't they?
It's a good chance for him to get 4 points after the last few weeks of putting in all right efforts and not getting a result. And Cribby,
and look, it's been a long year for Cribby. I don't think they'll get the job done. I think Summy easy.
Tyab a fluker's chance against Hastings?
I think they are.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be different because it's at Hastings this week. But round 2, Tyab were all over Hastings, and they were 30-something points up at the 8-minute mark of the last quarter and got rolled.
So they'd take belief, wouldn't they?
They'll take a lot of belief, but they just weren't able to finish the job. I think Tyab could cause a huge upset, but Hastings have got to do. They cannot afford.
Just need to find a way, don't they? Yep. Okay, first division, the 2 Sharks, Sorrento and Bomb Beach. Sorrento just winning all the time. They're doing the job. Yep. They're at home. They'll have another one of these big luncheons again. Good luck to them. They should be a bit too good for Bomb Beach.
Yeah, they're on a different level than Bomb Beach at the moment, so they'll win that.
It was great for Bomb Beach last week, though.
Oh,
you know, they've had a really hard middle of the season, Dan, with injuries and form. I don't think they'll get near Sorrento today.
Match of the round, we spoke about it earlier, the 2 Frankstons, the Bombers and YCW. If the Pines win, and we expect them to, we'll get to that match in a second. YCW, for the first time in a long time, could be outside the top 5. They've just got to find a way, but it won't be easy playing down at Greg Beck Oval, will it?
Frankston Bombers haven't beaten YC down there since the 80s.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
They've been in different competitions.
No, I think the Bombers. You idiot! I think the Bombers will beat them. I'm still learning. You absolute lunatic! I fell into that, didn't I?
If you'd have told me last year though that I'd be sitting in here tipping Frankston Bombers to beat YC reasonably comfortably, I would have said you're joking. But that's what I'm picking.
Frankston Bombers.
I'm going for the Bombers.
Their form. They've been getting off to great starts.
Yeah, they are.
And their momentum then has been able to drive them to win the games. Yeah. I think Frankston Bombers will beat YC, and it won't be an upset.
No.
It's because everyone else has beaten YC at the moment.
Rosebud at home playing Pines. I still think Pines will win that. They just have to win it to stay in the race for the finals.
Rosebud have been competitive though, haven't they?
They have. They've been great, but Pines to get back on the winners list.
And Edith Val Aspendale at home against Seaford. They'd want a bit of a percentage booster, which they haven't been able to produce, have they?
They're just getting the job done, aren't they?
They are.
Dan asked the question, have they got that next level?
Not sure yet.
I think they have.
They definitely have. It's just they've got to find it at the right time, and it's not something you can switch on and off whenever you want. I'll take Edith Val though.
And on Sunday, live on the GameFace app. We can't wait for it. Chris Holcomb and Dan Lonigan will bring you the coverage of Mount Eliza and Mornington from Red Leg territory. Mount Eliza will be favourite.
Arch rivals.
They are arch rivals.
Yeah,
they don't like each other.
Don't like each other at all. It'll be on, mate.
Mount Eliza's been playing really good football.
They have.
And, 2 weeks ago, they played 3 and a bit quarters against Sorrento, and they played pretty good footy, Chris, didn't they?
Don't count out Mornington though. They're going at a rate of knots. They're playing hard. They're playing for each other, but they just can't get over the line.
No.
Don't be surprised if there's a little upset on Sunday, mate.
Yeah, I think Mount Eliza are at home.
Mount Eliza will win, but Chris wants Mornington to win. But remember, Chris, BWB, barracking while broadcasting is an offence in the broadcasting industry. So we can't be doing that. So
down the Bay Hotel next week, Dan.
Can't wait. We're down there again. Looking forward to it. Can't wait to see the new facility, and it's going to be a big night, of course. Recorded in front of a live audience from the Bay Hotel in Morty Alec. Major sponsor now of the Edith Val Aspendale Football Club, and as we mentioned earlier, Graham Yates and Peter O'Connor. Graham Yates, the coach, Peter O'Connor, the president, will be our special guests, and the whole footy club will be down there as well. So it's going to be a big night, and we look forward to your company then. And may your football club have a great day this weekend, and we also look forward to your company for our Saturday show at Chelsea and our Sunday coverage of the big one between Mount Eliza and Mornington. Catch you then.